This video is brought to you by hoodbeast.com. Design your own custom hoodies. hoodbeast.com.
Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zach Lee, back bringing you some more daily NBA news and updates. We got a couple of things to talk about today, so let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Lego. The Golden State Warriors are no doubt the most dominant team of this generation. There is not even a question about that. Just look at everything that happened this offseason. All of the crazy trades and signings. Tons of star players switching teams. Why? All because of the Golden State Warriors and how dominant they have been these past 3 years. Teams are scrambling to try and keep up, to do anything they can to compete with the Golden State Warriors. So yeah, the Golden State Warriors are the most dominant team in the NBA right now. And on paper, they just might be the best team the NBA has ever seen. However, them being possibly the best team on paper that the NBA has ever seen doesn't mean that they have been the most dominant team that the NBA has ever seen. Since all 30 teams have existed, since the league has been fully developed, the title of the most dominant team ever, most people still give that to the 90s Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls. They three-peated twice, so that's like a total of 6 rings over 8 years. You don't get much more dominant than that. Look, the Warriors are a great team. They're just not on that level quite yet. However, that is the goal that they are aiming for. They want to say, yo, we ruled the 2000s, there's no question about that. That's at least according to Klay Thompson, as he was asked if he sees any resemblance to how the Bulls were in the 90s and then how the Warriors are today, and this is what he had to say. What's that, 6 championships in 8 years? So we're like only a third of the way there. Look, I think it's close. We still have a long ways to go, but I do see the fandom, the fanfare like the Bulls had in the 90s. Every time the Bulls came to town, that was the ticket of the year. Now it's when the Warriors come to town, that's the must-see game. And we don't take that for granted. That's such a cool position to be in. We rarely play in front of a crowd that's not sold out. That's so special. It's really hard to grasp that as a player, so I think it's close. I still think we're not on their level yet, but that's just what we aspire to be of the 2000s. We aspire to be that dynasty that will be in the minds of NBA fans forever. Player's right. You see, they're close, but they're only like a third of the way there. Right now, I'd say they're about equal to the big 3 of the Miami Heat earlier in the 2000s. That was a really great team. That was a really dominant team in the NBA for the time they existed, but since they disbanded and didn't win as many rings as teams like the 90s Michael Jordan Bulls, they're not on the same level as the Bulls were back then. The Warriors right now have won 2 of the past 3 NBA championships, which is impressive, but they just gotta win more. Think about this. If the Golden State Warriors were to somehow miraculously lose the NBA championship this year, or let's say they only win 1 more championship with this superstar, all-star, whatever, mega-star team that they have right now, you couldn't consider them as good as the 90s Michael Jordan's Bulls. They'd still go down as one of the best teams that has ever formed in NBA history, but they couldn't be on the same level of dominance as some other teams have been throughout NBA history. As for the whole people come to see us play type thing, the level of fanfare, the level of popularity, yeah, the Warriors are right up there with the 90s Michael Jordan's Bulls for sure. It would be hard to be a much more popular team than the Golden State Warriors. Every game they play, no matter what the city, people are going to go out to see it. Maybe not even for their home team. It'll be because the Golden State Warriors, they want to see the Warriors play. The building is going to be packed. Last year, when the Warriors came to take on my Detroit Pistons, I'm not even exaggerating this in the slightest bit, there were more Warriors fans at the game than there were Pistons fans. Like, this isn't even a joke. A home game for the Detroit Pistons, there were more Warriors fans. When the Warriors scored, the crowd erupted, the crowd went crazy. For every 1 Pistons fan, there were at least 2 Warriors fans in the building. The level of popularity that these Golden State Warriors have reached, it's insane. They are that hot team right now, and that's why a lot of people just don't like them, but that's nothing out of the ordinary. That's always something that's going to happen to whatever team is the hot team at the moment. The same people saying the 90s Bulls were the best team ever were the same people that were hating on the 90s Bulls back in the day, I'm just saying. And if the Warriors keep dominating the next 4 or 5 years like they have done the past 3 years, then they will be right up there with the Bulls, the Showtime Lakers, Birds Celtics, all of the dominant teams that modern NBA has seen. The Golden State Warriors will be right up there. At first, it kind of sounds like shots were taken here, but then I sat back, listened to it a few more times, thought about it, and then it didn't seem as much like shots as it did just straight facts. Kevin McHale, who used to be the head coach of the Houston Rockets and coach James Harden, just came out and said how he feels about the Rockets signing Chris Paul. He thinks it'll be a great addition to the team. I do too. I think that's one of the most slept on duos in the NBA right now, but we'll just have to wait and see once the regular season starts to see how great those two players can be together. However, Kevin McHale is not as excited about the on-court fit as he is about what Chris Paul brings to the table. Leadership. Kevin McHale really thinks that Chris Paul is the leader that team needs because James Harden, quote, isn't a leader.
I think it makes him a much better team because, you had James Harden with the ball, fantastic with the ball, great passer. The guy's got phenomenal vision. Talk about vision. James can see all the passes, do everything. But James is not a leader. He tried being a leader last year, tried doing that stuff. I think Chris Paul is going to help him just kind of get back into just being able to hoop and play and stuff like that. But on every team, you have to have a voice. On every team, you have to have somebody that when they say something, people listen. James, like, wait, look, if James tells you, Chuck, you got to play better, do you listen to him? Like, you got to be kidding me. I lived through it. Believe me, everybody in the locker room did this. Like, every time he'd mention defense, everybody would put their head down like, you got to be kidding me. Chris Paul is going to push him too. Chris Paul is not going to, when he does that stab in the backcourt, doesn't get a foul, looking at the referee, not running back, Chris Paul is going to jump his butt, and that's going to make him a better player. So I just think Chris Paul will be good for James Harden. Put it, just it will allow him to just be what he is, which is a phenomenal basketball player, not trying to lead a team. That's just not his personality.
Like I said, the first time I heard this, I thought he might have a little too much salt in his system, getting that high blood pressure going because he's no longer the head coach of the Houston Rockets. But then I started to think about it, and I was like, this dude kind of got a point here. That's no knock against James Harden. Look, you don't have to be a great leader to be a great player. Sometimes the leader of the team isn't even the first or even the second best player on the team. Stephen Curry and a lot of people on the Golden State Warriors have said time and time again that Draymond Green is the leader of the Golden State Warriors. Yet Draymond Green is not even the first or the second best player on that team. So James Harden not being the leader, however, still being the best player on that team isn't that big of a deal. It's not a knock as much as it is the truth. However, I do gotta say that Kevin McHale's whole thing about Harden getting on guys to play better defense was kind of funny. The first thing I imagined was, what if James Harden and Kawhi Leonard end up on the same team? You're gonna have James Harden telling Kawhi Leonard to play better defense. James Harden just seems like more of a quiet, reserved type player. He'll go out on the court, get those rebounds, get those assists, get them buckets. However, when it comes to the timeouts and the locker room stuff, I just can't see him getting on guys for not doing their jobs. I can't see him being the person to hold people accountable. Chris Paul, on the other hand, we all know what Chris Paul does on the court. Sometimes he can be seen as, kind of a harsh leader, as DeAndre Jordan. Chris Paul was the reason he almost left the Clippers in the first place for the Dallas Mavericks, because he was so harsh of a leader. If you messed up on a rotation or slack off on defense, you best be prepared to feel Chris Paul's wrath. He is a leader, and that's something that the Rockets just haven't had. And that should make the Rockets a much better team, especially on the defensive end. Speaking of defense though, someone who doesn't care much about it is the head coach of the Houston Rockets, Mike D'Antoni. And I thought this would be a good time to bring this up since we talked about the Rockets, we talked about the Warriors, we talked about coaches, and now it's time for Mike D'Antoni, the current head coach of the Houston Rockets, to let us in on his strategy kind of on their matchups against the Golden State Warriors. You're not gonna be able to stop them. It's just not gonna happen. But they're not gonna stop us either. Should be fun. It should be fun. And it sounds like Mike D'Antoni's whole plan is, we can't stop them, they can't stop us. So let's just see who makes the most shots. Don't worry about defense or anything like that. Defense is nothing more than a waste of energy. Then again though, that does sound awfully familiar to his plan to beat every team in the NBA. I'm predicting somewhere around 80 threes to be attempted every single time these two teams face off. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Let me know what you think about all of this down in the comment section below. Guess what? It's been about a month since the last Ask SDC, so we're gonna be doing another one soon. Leave your questions down in the comment section below using the hashtag AskSDC. They can be about anything and I will answer some of them. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe for more daily NBA videos, and until tomorrow, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here.